these are weird fucking times.
Times have changed.
Like, at what point does it go from joking around in the vlog, like I'm losing my mind, to actually losing our mind and ripping out my perfectly good, well, mildewy carpet now?
The good news is you can only see crazy from a distance. So like when you're in it, you're never going to recognize that you're slowly spiraling downwards and deteriorating until it's like
you live with me.
late. Yeah.
In the past week, have you looked me in the eye? Have you looked me in the eyes and said, "I'm worried about this kid"?
Every day, but I say it silently to myself because I'm just like, the show is so entertaining. I love to watch you just like implode. It's amazing.
It's self-implosion.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's horrifying. What about you?
You asked at what point does it stop being a joke for the vlogs and become real, and unfortunately we're there. I mean, everybody watching this I'm sure knows by now, but we've reached a point where we are part of an unprecedented event in human history. This is no longer a hoax from the Democrats, which it was called by our supreme leader in chief. It is not a might happen type thing. We are, along with the rest of the world, billions of people on lockdown in the midst of a pandemic that will define our lives, quite literally.
Yeah.
It will
Totally.
The economic fallout, the business closures, the unemployment, the death toll will potentially change our lives. And once I've got some articles here, but go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say it's crazy how really truly viral this thing has gone. Like this has affected the way the whole world is moving. And I'm not saying this from a pretentious point of view, but I'm very blessed that we are able to do this and work from home and make videos. And although I'm complaining about being locked at home, like we have a nice place to stay. I have so much empathy, and I actually feel immense sadness for the people who are really struggling. And it's not just like, oh, I'm bored. It's like I'm losing my job. I cannot tend to my family. My kids aren't being educated because they're not in school right now. Like there are some people out there with some serious fucking problems right now because of this disease.
There's some good things coming out of this though. I've seen like my brother who's 16 is taking all of his classes online. He does not have to go to school right now. I mean, it's obviously not the same.
Can you imagine
thing,
if
like,
this is the catalyst for a change in the education
It
system?
is.
And Spencer finally wins. Spencer finally wins because of the coronavirus.
I'm telling you guys, this is a time of change. Everything is going to be different. We're going to realize that no one has to go to work anymore. They can do everything from their computer.
I saw a tweet like that today.
You can just do anything that you want.
Yeah, there's a lot. The internet is a microcosm, a macrocosm now of like groupthink, and some of the tweets are really. There's a lot of tweets about the education system. There's a lot of tweets about people being able to work from home, and a lot of jobs can actually do that. So you when all the shit is over, you go to work and you're like, hey, can I do this from home? If your boss is being an asshole and says like, no. Sorry, I worked remotely for 3 months, however long this pandemic stint is, it's possible. And that's the scariest part to me. I don't know how long this shit is going to last. Like 2 days ago, we all kind of looked at each other and we're like, this might not be the 4 weeks that was originally talked about.
People are saying it could last as long as weeks, months. I'm reading an article here from Nobel laureate, Michael Levitt on Los Angeles Times. He is taking the converse angle and saying that the data does not support such a dire scenario, especially in areas where reasonable social distancing measures are in place. Basically saying that we are overextending. And so,
this is from LA Times.
From LA Times. Yeah. And so I saw a press conference with a woman, I think she was from the CDC the other day, where she said, if we leave this lockdown saying to ourselves, wow, we locked down and nothing even happened, the lockdown worked. The reason this pandemic does not become a killer of millions is because of the very practice that we are all practicing right now, which is quarantine, self-isolation, lockdown. That is the only thing that is going to stop this pandemic. It's not going to be the vaccines. Vaccines, they find it will take years to roll out enough vaccines.
Think about that too. Best case scenario, like, because this thing doesn't just go away. We can flatten the curve as much as possible. But even if we do discover a cure, distributing that to hundreds of millions of Americans in a reasonable amount of time.
No way.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No shot. They said they can produce 100,000 a month.
So at what point do we just give up, dude? Like, I'm just kidding. Please don't clip that. But seriously, at what point is it like, Vanessa Hudgens, she
Oh,
said,
no.
Oh my god, dude. Oh
she
my
said,
god.
I got what she was trying to say. She just said it in a really bad way. She's like, we're all gonna die.
No.
Oh,
You
no.
got at
She
least
goes-
quote her
she goes-
proper.
she
She
goes,
said, people are gonna die.
People are gonna die.
People are gonna die.
And while she's right, just a little too pessimistic for
Do you
me.
think she was drunk? Because that's tough to just like go on a Twitter rant and say that on a video. Please-
I don't know. I also have to I slightly feel for her a little bit. Like she was just word vomiting
Yep.
on live, and something came out of her mouth that a lot of people did not like.
I bet you that's been happening a lot. IG live
Everyone's
sessions are
going
up.
on live.
Everybody's going IG live, and you know, as people who have done 160 some odd shows here, we are pretty wise about the things that come out of our mouth. But even we fall victim to our own, rush and expedition sometimes. So I can imagine that people who are not as versed and as trained in long form content could fuck up quite a bit. And we saw that with her. I mean, people are gonna die. People are gonna die. I was like, wow, she said that.
Can we recreate that?
I mean,
starring you.
We just did. Oh, the whole thing.
the whole thing
for
starring
the night
Mike.
shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of celebs were roasting her. I saw Sophie Turner roasted her.
Should we pull the video up or no?
I don't want. I had that moment in my mind where I was like, "This is funny. Maybe I'll mention it in my
It's
vlogs."
sad, yeah.
But it's at what point are we bullying Vanessa Hudgens for saying some dumb shit? Like,
You're right,
leave
you're
her
right.
alone. Let her be.